Hello and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. We are on the second case. We have just met Herlock Sholmes. Oh, and Kazuma died. I mean, it's been established, but
So what has just happened is that Sholmes has stormed in and specifically said, yes, I can tell this young man was Russian. Because he wrote a Russian word.
despite the Japanese script and katana there in his room and the Japanese script in his journal and, you know,
All
fact
other
that
evidence.
all the other evidence that he's from Japan. All right.
This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed.
Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Oh, yes, and I forgot.
Really?
We're all genuinely grieving. Are you alright, Mr. Oh, yeah. Thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
What, pray?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that.
Yes, the training of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think?
Certainly, if it interests you. I'm not trying that.
How many times I'm not Russian I don't speak Russian? Can we talk about your deduction before the things you concluded about me, I mean?
Now, famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in.
What a man.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and the assassin of 16 part?
Yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered.
Since when was Kazuma Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik.
No. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face.
Not a single trait the same. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
Please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
Please say more.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Was I in Russia or was I in Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated here in the article.
I-
Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is Afghanistan, anyways?
The quotes around Afghanistan.
This Afghanistan face. What could it possibly be?
Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction.
Oh, thank you.
I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
So, no gossip column.
Yeah, no
Heard.
gossip column. That's all he reads. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well.
On the back?
Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret.
Oh, I forgot about this. It's all in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two.
What were you doing?
What are you doing? What is in your mouth? Sorry, our other cat, who we've also elected to name Miss Fake Name, but that's her full name, it's just Miss Fake Name, was playing with a mouse toy on the floor. And then she left. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Like, anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text.
London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the actor read.
You really are so mad about that word.
It looks fake.
Not to be like that guy, but all words are fake.
Yeah, especially the words that come out of his mouth.
You mean you read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know the smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is.
Really.
Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What the fuck are you on about?
Life is so unfair.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray, be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, Mikotoba, nado nado. I dress just suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated... littered with complicated looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
Oh my god. So what was all that showing off about before then?
I mean, like, I'm gonna put out there that even if you can speak conversational Japanese, which you might be able to, that is very different than understanding kanji. Because I do feel like he is the type that, like, can't really read it, but, like, can pick up on phrases and repeat them.
I mean, I feel like he, like, demonstrates kind of having a, like more of an understanding of it than, like, necessarily just conversational.
Oh yeah, well, because, like, also, like, we are going to cover that, like, the thing that Kazuma wrote is a really weird phrase that you would never use normally. So it would make perfect sense for him to be like, I understand almost all of these words except for the very last words he wrote, which seem like they're important.
Well, or even, like, if he does understand all the words, he'd be like, maybe this is some sort of fucking Japanese phrase that I don't understand, I've never heard before.
It's slang from the youths.
Slang from the youth for Venus.
He's like, I am well versed in slang of 40-year-old men. But you youngins, I don't got a clue. And Ryunosuke's like, would you like to elaborate on that? He's like, no, I would not.
Good lord.
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound.
These are very deep waters. Pray go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What does that mean?
I have no idea. I have never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin.
Sometimes Sholmes adds like 2 and 2 together and he gets it right, and I just had a moment where I was like, does he get it right? Does he get the ventilator right? Or is he going to be pointing at the wrong thing entirely?
Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record.
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Oh no, don't leave.
Oh, do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victims writing in his diary have piqued my interest.
Stop.
The matter wants further investigation, I believe. If I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Very ADHD of him. No, I'm also sitting here because you were about to just say like the sea takes hold, and I'm like, oh my god, just like the sea eating the people in that one book.
See, I was thinking that, like, he's like, if I sit still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Ironically, this is true even on dry land. And Ryunosuke is like, that sounds like boredom.
No, Sholmes is like, oh no, I know it's not boredom, because then I'd be in pain.
Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exhalation.
Exaltation.
And so, yes, I need to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? But what?
A simple glance at your wrist will reveal the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no?
There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
I hate this man.
Yeah. Liar.
You
Liar.
must be joking. You just said it like a moment ago.
Dear me, you are certainly misguided. I would have had no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I heard you say it too.
You're quite sure? Well, that's quite strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know, not really.
So, what? Were you looking at my knees before? What the fuck kind of detective are you?
Well, anyway, that was endless now.
What does that mean? What are you on about?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. What are you on about?
What? Now he's just being plain rude.
He's so lucky he's hot.
And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
No, son, what are you just standing there for?
Huh?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Are you not forgetting that I am in hand?
After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
If you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there's still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice.
Oh, your other man's.
He's here!
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Is something wrong now, son?
No, it's just that crewman over there by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yeah, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir?
Yes? What can I do for you? He still got the waiter pose.
I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is.
I know that tuberculosis anywhere.
I'd be able to spot that tuberculosis blindfolded.
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
I also love that this is like a very recognizable man.
I think
And it's not until he's like, I have tuberculosis, that they're like, oh, we know a man who looks like this who has tuberculosis.
I mean, especially the hair, because I feel like if he just had like regular dark hair, he wouldn't be as recognizable.
Yeah.
But like, no, he's quite recognizable, actually. Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship.
Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yeah, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry.
Hmm?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as a Sogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Assassinated? Why would that even be a possibility? How?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said that we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace.
This is sad.
All I can do is humbly apologize.
Inspector.
So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. Can you get me out of these cuffs? No!
We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's... Fuck, damn it, fuck! We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves.
I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer?
Of course not!
We really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yeah, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
I suppose. I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well.
Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
But I don't see how.
They're maybe away.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruho-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence sharing tutorial number 3.
Evidence? Why does he say it like he's already fucking forgot that word?
Because he has.
It's just the same as when you're in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga can use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the cabin next door, is it? Alright, yeah. I think I know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain.
What's this?
It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? That is strange.
Yeah, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin.
Next cabin door.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain is giving me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though.
But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders?
Fuck the captain. I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruho-san. Just select move, and we can leave this cabin at last.
Just pick up your feet and open the goddamn door.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. This is so...
You still there? Let's see. Oh, I guess he just won't bother us.
9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buryo, first class cabin, passageway. Happy
You know
birthday,
what?
Jakurai.
Unremarked comment on Sholmes. You meet him before 8 a.m. He is like that before 8 a.m.
I hate that man.
It is 7 o'clock in the a.m. and Ryunosuke is like, who the fuck are you?
Well, I mean, even in my fic, I have him being like breaking into Reino's apartment at like 8:15 or before 8:15, and she's like the kind of person who doesn't get up before 10. And she's like, "What are you doing in my house?"
He just doesn't have any type of sleep schedule. He's just up whenever. You never know.
He never sleeps,
Mm-hmm.
famously.
It's all the cocaine.
Probably. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation?
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodations in storage.
Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. There's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs?
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time.
What kind of little boys have you taken to toy shop, Suzato? Are they usually in handcuffs?
Oh my god, stop.
I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came on board. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please don't give me that pitying look.
She's going to pity you.
Alright, I am going to take this moment to say to be continued.
Sounds good. Hello, this is Mickey. Thanks for watching. If you like this, maybe comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. So if you want to know when we've posted more nonsense, here's some great art done by Utsu. If you'd like your art to be featured in this spot, you can contact through email or Tumblr, links in the description. Otherwise, have a good day. See you next time.